There's a place at the far eastern edge of Russia, where life comes to a halt. Where animals collapse without warning. Where the air feels poisoned, though no one can say exactly why. A valley where not even birds dare to fly. And where even Soviet soldiers preferred not to enter. This place exists. And it's called the Valley of Death of Kamchatka. A remote zone, surrounded by active volcanoes, geysers, and a permanent shroud of fog, where for over a century, mysterious deaths have been recorded. This isn't just a symbolic name. This is a real valley, roughly 2 kilometers long, near the Kikpinich volcano, on the Kamchatka Peninsula in northeastern Siberia. A valley so lethal, it's been officially closed off to tourists. And it continues to raise more questions than answers. Today, on Sinister Maps, we travel to a place where death doesn't need a weapon. Because here, breathing alone may be enough. But what exactly is killing in Kamchatka? And why does no one seem willing to look too closely? The modern story of the Valley of Death begins in the 20th century, when Soviet explorers first reported the strange presence of dead animals in the area: foxes, birds, deer, even bears. None showed signs of injury. They had simply dropped. As if something invisible had taken their lives in seconds. Early reports spoke of a heavy atmosphere, sudden headaches, dizziness. Some scientists who went in to investigate returned with similar symptoms. Others didn't return at all. And the mystery deepened. The Soviets conducted studies, collected samples, installed sensors. But they never released conclusive findings to the public. Just one silent verdict: the area was dangerous. Better left alone. Some theories suggest a toxic cocktail of volcanic gases rising from underground. Carbon dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, perhaps carbon monoxide in lethal concentrations. Invisible gases, odorless, heavier than air, settling in the basin of the valley like a deadly mist. But here's the contradiction. Why does this only happen in this specific location? Kamchatka is full of active volcanoes. Yet only this valley shows such a consistent pattern of sudden death. And more strangely still, why does it happen sometimes, and not others? Explorers have entered unprotected and walked out unharmed. Only to return days later, and find fresh animal corpses where there had been none. As if the valley flips an invisible switch. Is it a cyclical release of gas? Or is there something else? In the 1970s, Soviet authorities restricted all access to the valley. And rumors of military experiments began to spread. Some speak of chemical tests during the Cold War. Of biological warfare trials in remote zones. Others mention underground installations hidden beneath the volcano. Sealed tunnels. Disguised antennas. And an experimental base that no longer appears on any map. Too much imagination? Maybe. But official information on the area remains scarce, fragmented, and deliberately vague. Then there are the records from the Itemen people, Kamchatka's indigenous inhabitants. They had already named the valley, the land that breathes death. They warned that spirits from the underworld emerged through cracks in the earth. They believed the volcanoes were portals. And that what lived beneath them was not human. Curiously, many cultures near volcanic regions share a similar myth: the deadly breath of the earth. A common legend, or an ancient memory of something real. In recent years, new mysteries have surfaced. In 2020, hundreds of marine animals washed up dead along Kamchatka's shores. Local surfers reported eye irritation, mild skin burns, and a strange smell in the air. Authorities blamed organic pollution, toxic algae, but satellite images showed a dark plume stretching from inland Kamchatka out to sea. A leak? A controlled release? Or a new event linked to the Valley of Death? Adding to the mystery, drones deployed by scientists detected anomalous heat signatures in the area. Hot zones where no volcanic activity should exist. Natural geothermal leaks? Or underground operations? Because here's something almost every scientist who has visited the valley admits. The ground isn't entirely natural. Some areas seem altered. Straight lines visible from above. Formations that don't appear shaped by erosion, but by design. And certain fissures that vibrate at unusual frequencies. Geological coincidence? Or buried technology? The mystery remains. So does the silence. Kamchatka continues to be one of the most militarized regions in Russia. A base for nuclear submarines. A zone for long-range missile systems. A strategic Cold War territory under constant watch. What if the Valley of Death isn't just a natural phenomenon? What if it's a cover? A blind spot where things are tested, that no one should know about. A place where death makes no sense, because it was never meant to. A natural curse? A secret lab? Or something beyond our understanding? Because science doesn't always have all the answers. And when it doesn't, that's where Sinister Maps begins. If this journey into one of the deadliest and least understood places on Earth has fascinated you, subscribe to Sinister Maps. Here, we explore the forbidden, the forgotten, and the deliberately ignored corners of the world. Places where the laws of nature bend, where official history goes silent, and where mystery still breathes. See you in the next episode. And remember, if no one wants to talk about it, it's because there's something they don't want you to know.